Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Mormon Movie Reviews, where LDS movie lovers belong. My name is Dives. Today is November 27th, 2022. And Manners for Missionaries 4, Visual Poise for Sisters, released in 1994 with a running time of 5 minutes. But this is only a 5-minute film, so please watch the whole short before you watch this review. A brief synopsis. This segment covers how women should pick up various objects, enter and exit vehicles, sit and stand, and present themselves as sister missionaries. Now, film background. This video is part 4 of a 7-part series aimed at teaching etiquette to everyone, but is geared primarily towards full-time LDS missionaries and sister missionaries in particular for this one. Now, this is not an official production of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or Brigham Young University, but its creators were faculty and instructors for both BYU and the Provo Missionary Training Center. This film has been shown at many missions throughout the world and is still in use today. So if you want to get in touch with me, my email is mormonmoviereviews@gmail.com. Now, what is poise anyway? The definition in the dictionary is grace and elegance. Now, there's apparently no visual poise for elders. And why not? Why not indeed? I'm sure there are people out there that think that I am not the right person to review this short, and perhaps they are right. But there's no other reviews of this video on YouTube, and we've been waiting now for almost 30 years. I did, however, before I did this review, I watched this movie with my wife, my daughter, and my mother in 3 separate viewings to try to give me some perspective.
As sisters in the gospel, we should maintain a feminine dignity, no matter where we are or what we're doing.
Okay, so she mentions feminine dignity here. What I find interesting about the entire concept of the so-called manly men and feminine women is that if gender characteristics like that are innate, then people would do them automatically, right? So there would be no need to reinforce them or to remind people of them. They'd just be part of who we are. And that's why I'm wondering, is she tacitly admitting that feminine dignity is not innate? Then why does it need to be reinforced? We do need to name our narrator here. So I'm going to name her Sister Congeniality. Now, my daughter watched this short, and she said that Sister Congeniality looks and acts fake. That's just for my daughter. I did not say that, but I'm giving you some perspective here.
Check yourself in the mirror to make sure you're standing straight.
She is really checking herself out there from head to toe. It reminds me of Spencer Kimball's oft-repeated admonition to be ye therefore perfect, which I guess extends to one's physical appearance as well.
Then, as you go throughout the day, remember good posture and stand tall. Most of the time as a missionary, you'll be carrying books, but when your arms are free, stand with them resting on your hip bones or relaxed at your side with the elbows close to the body.
Yeah, I mean, so this video seems to be reinforcing a particular kind of Nordic, almost a Swedish kind of look. The same makeup, same bangs, same coloring. There's an emphasis on sameness here that is really borderline creepy.
If you feel comfortable standing with your arms folded, be sure to let your fingertips show. Otherwise, your arms will pull you into a slump.
Oh, watch out for that, sister.
When putting your hands in your pockets, let the thumb show, so it doesn't appear as if you are resting in your pockets.
No, there's just a lot in this video that really reminds me of the LDS Temple endowment film, including these specific instructions regarding whether or not your thumbs should be extended. There is a high level of suggested control in this video over seemingly mundane things and situations and behaviors, including the peculiar arrangement of one's digits. It's high level of control.
When sitting, practice the following technique. It'll help you look more refined and ladylike.
You know, implicit with that advice of being refined and ladylike is that if young women in particular who do not present a refined and ladylike appearance, then they are not good representatives of the church and therefore the Lord. It really reminds me of the levels of control that we saw back in the 1990s, for instance, President Hinckley telling not only missionaries, but all members of the church to avoid tattoos and second body piercings, ear piercings in particular. Now, that council in particular has recently, just in the last month, by the way, been walked back with the recent update of the Strength of the Youth pamphlet.
As you approach a chair, turn on the balls of your feet and back up to the chair, touching it with your calves. Then, keeping your back straight, lower yourself to the edge of the chair, then slide back into it.
Hey, slow down. Time. Hey, sister congeniality. Everyone doesn't have as much experience sitting down into chairs as you do. Can you just break this down into smaller steps for us? I'd really appreciate that. This literally reminds me of like a dog obedience school. It's like you're teaching Fido to sit. Sit, Fido, sit. Good boy. Crazy.
When arising, let your knees do the work, sliding you to the edge and back up in one motion.
Let your knees do the work as opposed to what? Your butt? How do you get up from a chair without using your knees?
When you're sitting, it's most attractive to keep your hands together, palms down, or with fingers interlocked in front of you or off to the side, whichever is most natural for you.
Yeah, what is most natural to you? Yeah, this video, it's really worried about what is natural for you, right? I don't think so. And besides, sister congeniality, what is most attractive? Why should these sister missionaries be at all concerned with being attractive? To whom and for what purpose? I mean, they can't even go on a date on their mission. And of course, there's no corresponding video for the elders on the importance of attractiveness. No, no, no. If you look up in the dictionary about what attractiveness is, it says appealing to, look at, and sexually alluring. I mean, the sad fact of the matter is that the producers of this film, they know that sex sells. And attractive looking female missionaries, they convert more people than male missionaries. And the filmmakers know this. Yeah, palms down. Remember, that is more temple endowment language. We've had the thumbs extended, we've had the palms down. This is all harkening back to temple covenants and temple endowments. There's a bunch of callbacks to covenants that people have made, but that seems to be what we're signaling here.
When sitting, the most important thing to do is keep your knees together.
Yeah, this really kind of reminds me of a meme that I made for Sister Congeniality. Knees together makes families forever. That does have a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Hashtag forever families.
One mission president had to make the front row at meetings off limits to sisters because they couldn't sit modestly.
What?
Don't let that be said of you.
You know, I would give 1,000 C9s to know the name of this mission president that was referenced in this video. Make it 10,000. Okay, so let's break this down. If a mission president, he can't keep his eyes to himself, apparently, even though these sister missionaries are like a third of his age, apparently that's the sister missionary's fault. Because remember, sister congeniality didn't say, oh, that mission president, he's disgusting. No, she said, don't let that be said of you, sister missionaries. It's not the dirty mission president's fault. Heavens no. It's the sister missionary's fault. On this video, it really reinforces that women, how they act, how they dress, how they comport themselves, they're ultimately responsible for men's behavior, at least in part.
Keep knees together with your skirt close to your legs. Your feet can be parallel in front of you, or at an angle, or in a model stance with one slightly in front of the other.
Uh-huh.
If you cross your ankles, don't wrap your foot around your leg like this.
Oh, no. That'd be dreadful. Thanks for the tip, Sister Congeniality. There's so many comfortable positions that my feet can be in. And I think that it goes without saying that as sister missionaries, if they wrap their feet around their ankles like what we see in that video, they absolutely do not deserve to be missionary training sisters.
When you cross your legs, don't cross them at the knees, but at the calves, with the top leg resting on the bottom leg at an angle.
Right, resting at an angle. This is a great tip. Now, can you tell me the exact angle that is most pleasing to the Lord? It looks like, I don't know, it looks like maybe about a 40-degree angle. I'm not sure. I want to get this right. This is important stuff here. I hope you're taking notes.
When sitting, use good posture. Don't use armrests. You tend to either slump or grab onto them.
Uh-huh.
And how about bending over?
Bending over? Yikes! This isn't normally discussed until marriage prep classes, but I am intrigued.
Never bend from the waist for 2 good reasons.
Yeah, number one reason is that she might have a dirty-minded mission president.
Your front and your back. Rather, lower your body to a sitting position and back up again, keeping the spine as straight as possible. When kneeling to pray, use the same principle. Lower yourself as in bending, then with your knees together, let one come down first. When getting up, make sure your skirt is not caught on your shoes, then rock back onto your feet and come up in one motion.
Right, so we've covered sitting, bending, standing, reaching. Hopefully we're going to be covering playing fetch and toilet flushing etiquette soon.
If a chair is close by, use it to help you get up.
Hey, nicely done, babe.
What about getting in and out of cars?
Ooh, tough
one. The principles
one.
are similar to those of sitting.
Gotcha.
Back up to the seat, Then, keeping your knees together, sit on the edge of the seat.
Mhm.
Now, keeping your knees together, swing your legs around into the car and then position yourself on the seat. When getting out of the car, remember both legs swing out first with knees together. Then use your arms to gently push yourself up and out of the car.
And make sure you have a nice tan as well. I mean, nobody likes a pasty sister, am I right?
And getting in the back of a two-door car,
This video is actually pretty progressive. I was taught never to go into the back seat of a car until after I got married.
back into the seat, putting one leg in the car and keeping knees together. Then lower yourself in, pulling the other leg in. When getting out, stretch one leg out first, knees together, then gently pull yourself out.
You know, if I just had $1 for every time we heard about knees together in this video, I'd be a rich man. I mean, we're spending a lot of time getting into the back seat of a two-door car. Something that seriously, folks, I went on a mission for 2 years. I never went into the back seat of a two-door car even once in my mission. I'm hoping that in part 5 of the series, which I haven't watched yet, but I hope that that's when we're going to find out how sister missionaries can delicately mount horses and ride motorcycles.
Finally, practice good visual poise by having a smooth, confident walk.
Uh-huh.
If you walk too stiff-legged, you'll have a jerkiness or a bounce to your walk.
Oh, we do not want jerkiness or bounces to walk, that's for sure.
Keep your knees relaxed and bent slightly so your walk is smooth and poised. As you practice walking this way, you'll also find your legs and feet don't get as tired.
Yeah, excellent tips on walking, sister congeniality. One of the big challenges to getting baptisms is a smoking hot runway walk. Am I right?
No matter how confident you are, poor habits of visual poise can make you appear unsure of yourself.
Mhm.
So practice good visual poise.
The importance of poise is well known.
Now, if I told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Poise counts. It's just as important as the others. Swimsuit, evening wear, talent, poise.
I think Kramer's got the right idea.
No, wait.
What?
Watch me. Glide. See? Glide. It's all in the buttocks. Don't I look pretty?
It takes a very secure man to walk like that.
As sisters in the gospel, we know that modesty is more than dress. It means how we act and how we talk. It means using soft, gentle tones and avoiding loud laughter and boisterous actions.
This is yet another callback to the temple endowment because loud laughter, that is a sin. Most of these young ladies here, they have a very similar makeup composition.
As sister missionaries, you can set the tone of modesty and graciousness for the entire mission.
Setting the tone for graciousness and modesty, that's really kind of the responsibility of women because this is a 7-part series and there's no similar emphasis on male missionary appearance. It seems like these missionaries are really wanting to send a message here that modest, it really is hottest.
As you continue to be sensitive to those around you and to your own habits of visual poise, you can become even more effective in your missionary efforts.
You can become more effective in your missionary efforts. You know, I'm kind of worried about sister congeniality here. Blink twice if you're not in a cult because she really is, she's creeping me out here. She's not blinking here. I hope she's okay. I'm really not sure about that. You know, I actually watched this video a number of times. It really has like a Stepford Wives feel to it, like a 1960s Stepford Wives where they all need to look the same. They all need to act the same. They all need to have an attractive look. They all need to have a pale skin. This video really, really creeps me out. Let's look at some of the comments section here. Oh my God, thank you. That was the best 4 minutes of my life. Is there a visual poise for elders video? Any videos about how elders should sit and behave so that they look more refined and pretty? No, I'll answer that question. No, there's not. And this video is a wonderful reminder of what a horrible world we live in. Oh boy, I'll tell you. Some concluding thoughts here. I actually watched this video with my mother, who's almost 80. And she never once laughed, chuckled, or found anything whatsoever objectionable because you have to remember the people who make these videos, they are, they're being influenced by the gerontocracy. Just like my mom, who grew up in the 1960s. And that's when these gender roles, they were solidified. This video shows that not much has changed since that time. My mom, she said after watching this that she finally understands how to get into and out of the back seat of a two-door car. And she thought that it was a great video that showed very important skills. And I think the filmmakers, they mean well. It seems like they have the right intention, but there's just something about the tone and presentation that's really off. There's this dehumanizing subliminal message that permeates every single scene. It's very challenging for sister missionaries who don't fit the particular mold to feel good about themselves. Now, sister missionaries at the time of this video, they were required to wear tights and skirts and dresses. Starting in 2018, the church loosened up those rules and allowed for pants. And I think that that is obviously a very good step forward. The video, there's no black missionaries. There's not even any white missionaries who have slightly dark skin. No one is overweight. There are no persons with handicaps in the video. There's not even any short sisters or any super tall ones. There's no missionaries with acne or acne scars. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is happy. Basically, everyone is a light-skinned, attractive, slim, feminine young lady. That appears to be the standard of beauty that the filmmakers are really trying to go for. This is a beauty queens. That's what we saw with the Kramer clip. The filmmakers, they may not be emphasizing the strange pompadour hairstyles of the FLDS, but they want to emphasize a certain attractive aesthetic emphasized. It does remind me personally of when I used to play in the orchestra at Temple Square. We were instructed many times to have just the right amount of makeup, the right kind. Yes, men had makeup, and just the right amount of smiling. And we're frequently admonished that we were not smiling enough. Let's go back to the video here. Think about it. With such long skirts, I don't even understand, how is modesty even an issue? The skirts that we saw were almost up to the ankle. I mean, no matter how you sit, stand, or move, it shouldn't be a problem. But the church, again, this was shot in 1994. This is like 1950s and 60s beauty standards. That's why I talked about the Stepford wives. It's because the church is a generation behind when it comes to these type of social conventions. And of course, like we saw in the comment section, I guess it doesn't matter how elders sit, stand, pray, because modesty, it's not really important for elders, I guess. I never saw this film as a missionary, though it came out right before I served a full-time mission in the church in the 90s. Now, some people may say it's just a harmless video with some cringeworthy moments, and I just don't think so. If you're a sister missionary who can't live up to the beauty, the attractiveness, and the poise standards of the video due to no fault of your own, but just because you're genetically predisposed to be heavier, you're a person with physical disabilities, or you don't have incredibly fair and white skin, or long, beautiful hair that's with perfectly coiffed bangs, you can come away from this video thinking that I just can't measure up. Something must be wrong with me, or I'm a personal failure, or I'm not going to be a good missionary. And it's not just about sitting properly, bending gracefully, or getting into or out of a vehicle. There's nothing inherently wrong with covering these concepts, like my mother said when she watched it. It's just that this video, it proposes or reinforces an entire beauty aesthetic that is really rooted in a purity culture. Because remember, the sister missionaries were responsible for the actions of their mission president, at least in part. And a couple last thoughts. Imagine you're a trans member of the church who does not fit into this pseudo-idealistic and sexist female stereotype, but also does not fit into a manly men stereotype either. How will that member of the church feel after watching this video? So thanks so much for joining me to review this film. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and join us next time for another episode of the Mormon Movie Reviews, where LDS movie lovers belong. So long.